So these are the most powerful AI models out there right now, and we are going to find out which one is actually the best. So we got them to compete in 3 different fields to see which is ultimately the best. They not only generated images, amazing graphs, but also, quite literally, cloned Google Docs. This is going to be interesting. So throughout this video, we are going to give each of these models tests on specific fields, from making websites, managing data, to creativity. Each field contains a couple of tests to more accurately predict which one of them is actually the best. So the first field we will be testing on is making websites. Now this might not seem like an important consideration when choosing your primary AI model, but by telling the AI to make a specific website, we could test on numerous skills, including how good the AI's logic is, the instruction following is, and the creativity is. And also, websites are fun. So anyways, the first prompt we gave the AI is, make me a website that calculates prime numbers. When I click start, it will start listing out prime numbers. The website will not get prime numbers from the web. Instead, it will calculate itself. It will list out as many prime numbers as possible. We will give them all 10 seconds to calculate as much prime numbers as possible, and the model that gets the most wins. We chose to let the AI make a prime number generator because we wanted to put their logic to the test. We wanted to know which one could actually understand coding better and design a more efficient script. Or will they just not work? So first we got ChatGPT's website. It looks clean and professional, and they made it simple, with only one start button on the entire website. So after 10 seconds, ChatGPT got to around 13,000, which is pretty decent. Okay, so next up, Claude. I always like how Claude can easily make complicated Okay, well, that doesn't even work. Moving on. Okay, so we have Gemini here, and it looks like it decided to go the simple route too. Just one button. But as you can see, instead of scrolling for me, the website just left us on the top, which is not ideal as much as design goes. But visually, I like it. However, wow, it got to 37,000. 3 times more than ChatGPT. Very impressive. Okay, and now we have Grok. And well, the UI doesn't really look the best, but it's fine, as long as the results are good, since how good something looks is mostly objective. Oh, but yeah. Well, only 6,000. 2 times less than ChatGPT. And finally, we got Perplexity. So in my opinion, Perplexity is almost always used for doing research, so I highly doubt it's gonna make anything really impressive. But it's fine since our next field will be data. And yeah, as I expected, it doesn't work. So I would say for this test that Gemini did the best, then ChatGPT, then Grok, and Claude and Perplexity at the bottom. So moving on, the next prompt is make me the best website you can with HTML. I like how we designed this prompt to give the AI models full freedom to do whatever they want, while still giving them a chance to prove how good they are at coding. Alright, great, so right off the bat, ChatGPT made me a portfolio, even using the information it knows about me, such as my name, to help build it. However, it doesn't really look the best, and there's basically nothing in there. Claude decided to go a complete different route though, making me an entire product landing page, and I gotta say, it is quite impressive. Not only did it design a beautiful button, but it also perfected the animations. That's the Claude I know. So Gemini decided to give me some sort of product introduction page too. However, instead of going the more interactive route, it decided to be a little more professional and minimalist, even putting the placeholder contact feature. And wait a second, it looks like Grok almost did the exact same thing Gemini did. Well, not as good, but still. Also adding a contact feature. So finally, we have the awesome website by Perplexity. As much as it's boring, it does still have a better design as ChatGPT. However, I would still say ChatGPT is better because it knows to use your data to generate content suited for you. So for this round, I would go with Claude, Gemini, Grok, ChatGPT, and Perplexity still at last. Okay, but here comes the interesting test. Literally cloning Google Docs. So the prompt is, make a replica of the tool Google Docs. Pull all the features that Google Docs have, and the result will just be one singular file containing modern HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'm actually very excited for this. So let's start. ChatGPT made Docs Lite. Interesting. Oh, and remember to subscribe. So the font works, and so does the size. The bold, italic, and underlining works perfectly fine. You can also move the text left, right, or center. And it also has an undo and redo feature. Okay, but these other ones are interesting. I think they're just going to be placeholders. And yeah, they are just placeholders. You would see many AI models do this a lot, putting placeholders on random things, which, well, I don't really like. But anyways, this download feature still works though. Now Claude. Oh wow, okay. This actually looks much more like Google Docs. I'll give it that. The view size, however, does not work, and neither does the font. Wow, not even the font size. Okay, I don't even think any of these work. They look so good though, but Claude just had to screw it up. Well, that's too bad. So here we have Gemini, and you would think it could maybe know a bit more about Google Docs since it's created by Google. Well, I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, so I like how it already gave me text samples of different kinds of formats. So I guess we already know they do work. Oh, and it gave us the option to add link, which I don't think it works, but most of the other things work, so this is near perfect. So Grok did a good job with the UI. I like how I might be able to comment. But oh no, every time I change anything, it alerts me that it auto-saved. Okay, font doesn't work, and neither does font size, but the others do work pretty well. You can even insert an image. This is not bad at all. There are also some tables of content templates, and the comments do work. And so does the download feature and printing feature. This is not bad if it weren't for the autosave alert. And yep, Perplexity decided to go the easy route, making everything simple. But at least it made all the features work. Let's try the URL embedding feature. Okay, so you can see as if there was a link attached, but it doesn't really work. Okay, so for this round, we had to consider many different things, including how it was designed, how it did work, and how similar it is to the real thing. So in first place, we got Gemini, then Grok, then Claude, ChatGPT, and Perplexity still at last. So for the second field, we got data analysis. So the first prompt is make a well-formed report of the most interesting statistics about airplanes. Include a data table and a graph in your report. For this, ChatGPT decided to give us random information, like the records for planes with fastest speeds, longest distance, and even the largest fuel tanks. And then giving us comparisons between different airlines and their flights per day, as well as giving us some key observations from all the information above. And now for Claude. Claude is always known for its good graphing and data analysis. So I am very excited about this. And yeah, as I said, Claude created a beautiful report containing information about daily operations, safety records, and speed records. Okay, well, you get the point. Beautiful graphs, perfect animations, useful and important information. So for Gemini, I think it would do good if it could fully utilize Google search, which, well, they should. Okay, so it started by telling us how safe aircrafts are and giving us statistics to prove them, which is very interesting. I like how it gave us a visual on the comparison of fatal rates on different vehicles. Oh, and they also gave us some very interesting records. Here's something important though. Gemini has the advantage where it's actually owned by Google, so it has control over Google Sheets, which could be very convenient in exporting researches it did into actual files. Anyways, it also gave us some fun facts. So Grok decided to open up an entire MD files just for this, and it took our prompt very literally. It gave us as many statistics there is on all sorts of different things about aircrafts, including global passenger traffic, daily flights, and also safety statistics. And it also drew a table but left the source blank. It included an image but didn't load. But it did analyze the data and gave us a conclusion on it, so I guess that's fine. Perplexity also gave us some random facts about aircrafts, cost, size, safety, and flight operations. I do like how for the table it is clean and easy to read with minimal words and still enough information to understand. And yeah, that's basically it. After some assessment, the ranking goes like this: Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Grok. So for the next round, we let the AI find two datasets that somehow matches, but are not related at all. The prompt is, find two datasets of reports of facts that shouldn't match, but their graphs match. Explain why they match logically, and generate a picture of it to help people understand it. So ChatGPT told us the amount of ice cream in cells and drowning incidents are somehow correlated, but then explained to us that it was because of some hidden factors that we couldn't see, telling us that correlation is not causation. It also generated a graph showcasing both the data. Claude also gave us some weird correlations, even showed two data in a very high quality graph. There's even an animation for the graph, showcasing every year. Oh wait, they gave us two examples of two different datasets. So Gemini started with a graph showing that two data matches. However, the graph was really weird, having 5 lines with only one explanation for 2 of them. And Grok. Well, it felt like Grok was in another world. It generated something entirely different from what we asked, a research on Anscope's quartet. The graph, however, looked really well made, and Perplexity also misunderstood what we meant and generated an explanation on Anscope's quartet. So of course, for this round, it's Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and Perplexity. And now, finally, the creativity round. So we told AI to make an image of a neon blue skull with only 2 triangular teeth on the top and 1 dark purple tooth at the bottom, 1 green crown on the skull, and the Mona Lisa background. And apparently the skull has to be in a glass chamber, and it has to look realistic. So after about a minute, ChatGPT ended up with this. Out of the 6 things in the checklist, ChatGPT has gotten 5 of them, which is really impressive. And sadly, Claude just couldn't generate any images, which is kind of a letdown. But then we have Gemini that came up with this with only 15 seconds, 4 times faster than ChatGPT, while getting everything we asked for in the checklist. And then we have Grok that only got 4 out of the 6 things in the checklist. And of course, finally, Perplexity, that is also incapable of generating images. And so, after some complex calculations, we have came here with the results. The best AI, currently right now, in 2025, is none other than Gemini, scoring a 10 out of 10 in our test, getting the best results for every test we threw at it, and also having the advantage of Google search and being able to export to Google Sheets. For the second place, we got ChatGPT at 7.7 points, which is followed by Claude in the third place, scoring a 6.5, Grok at 4th with 6.2 points, and then finally Perplexity at 1.9, still at last. And yeah, that's all. This video is way too fucking long. See ya. Peace.